So hi, today we have Elizabeth from ODI. I welcome you here, and I am really curious about this report. Would you like to tell us what this report is actually and how it is connected to the Sustainable Development Goals, please?
Absolutely. I mean, you're right, it is a quite unusual report. It's actually a fantasy case study, but it's based absolutely on reality and on real evidence. So at ODI, we've been doing a 5-year-long series of case studies looking at what works in development. So taking a successful or an outcome where there's been progress in areas like maternal mortality, for instance, or in education, and unpacking what's worked, why has it worked. So for our 50th case study in the series, the final one in the series, what we wanted to do was to look at the issue of trade-offs. So if you're a minister, a planning minister, let's say, in a developing country, who doesn't only have to deliver on the education goal or the health goal or the infrastructure goal, but instead you need to think about the whole suite of goals. So you're having to deliver the economic, the social, and the environmental outcomes of the SDGs. How do you do that? How do you decide what to prioritize? And when you've decided that, how do you deal with trade-offs? There are going to be some winners and losers from policies depending on in which combination they're implemented. How do you figure that stuff out? And that's what we wanted to do with this fantasy case study. So we gave the country a name. We called it Progressia because that's what we're hoping for progress. And we've used the real life evidence. So we've taken evidence from countries that have delivered on those different areas of goals to answer the question, what would it look like to deliver on both economic growth and environmental sustainability? What would it look like to deliver on ending hunger and environmental sustainability? And what would it look like to deliver on economic prosperity and reducing inequality?
Wow, that's great. I would like to know what is the medium of dissemination of this report and what is the potential target audience or maybe target groups?
So we've really written this for policymakers. We're really hoping that this will be, again, although it's a fantasy, we're hoping that the lessons learnt from doing this exercise can be something that can be of real use to ministers who, as I say, are thinking about all the SDGs, and maybe not just the SDGs. They're also needing to be implementing the climate agreement and also the outcomes from the World Humanitarian Summit, this really complex agenda. This is supposed to be a way, we've designed this as a way to help
Of development programs to the young policymakers?
We'd love to do that. In fact, one of the tools we've identified in our conclusions is it's something called poverty and social impact analysis. And it's a tool that policymakers used to use 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and it's fallen out of fashion. People don't do it anymore. But it's actually the most useful, there's a suite of tools for doing this, but it's a really useful way of figuring out, before you enact a policy, what is the distributional impact of that policy going to be? I'll use the expression again, winners and losers. How do you work out who are the winners and losers are going to be before you implement the policy? So you do it with your eyes open, not with your eyes shut. Now, it really worries me that this has fallen out of fashion, and we would love to be talking to people studying public policy and making them aware of this tool and other tools and other sort of approaches that are needed in this new SDG world.
Cool. Would you like to give a message to the wider audience out there? Anything from here to the wider world about this report or about anything?
Yeah, I'd like to say that I do want to talk, there's lots of messages you could give about the SDGs and about implementation, but the key thing that I would like people to keep holding in their mind is the leave no one behind agenda of the SDGs. So the NDGs provided some phenomenal, extraordinary successes, but it was, in the main, people who were already closer to the average who benefited from progress. And still too many people have been left out of that progress. That's now the priority agenda, is delivering progress and speeding up progress and delivering it to those people who've been left at the bottom of the pile. And again, I hope our report is a tool that will help policymakers think about that approach.
Thank you so much. Leaving no one behind. Elizabeth from ODI, who was talking about a report, the Sustainable Development Goals and their trade-offs. I am Mohammad Usman Khan from Pakistan, a global goal champion and passionate to work for sustainable development. Thank you so much.
Thank you.